What's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and today we're going to be talking about potential Lakers new head coach candidates if they fire Darvin Ham. I think ultimately for the Lakers, you got to let go of Darvin Ham. I don't think he's a good coach. Number one, number two. If you want to keep LeBron James and Anthony Davis on this roster, I don't think keeping Darvin Ham is the right choice. I don't think they're going to want Darvin Ham on this roster anymore, and ultimately I think what the decision that's going to happen is firing him and letting him go. Now, when that happens, I don't know. We'll see when that move is made. I believe that will be the decision that you will see the Lakers make. We'll see when it happens, though. Now, we're going to talk about head coaching candidates and ultimately the guy I think the Lakers should hire. So let's go over the head coaching candidates for the Lakers' potential new job. Number one, the first candidate is Mike Budenholzer. I think this has to be the favorite. This has to be the number one guy, potentially. This has to be number one on the Lakers list bringing in. Number one, he has championship experience. He's a great head coach, number one. He's won like 2 or 3 head coach of the year awards. Not only that, he's won an NBA championship with the Milwaukee Bucks. He was great for the Bucks. The only reason he got fired was because they lost in 5 games to the Miami Heat team, which was an 8 seed, which was embarrassing. Let's be honest, that Miami Heat team last year was a lot better than an 8 seed. That Heat team in 22-23 season was a team that was injured and got healthy before the playoffs and played great in the postseason. But not only that, I mean, to be honest, the Bucks were without Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't know if the Heat win that series if Giannis is fully healthy in that series against the Miami Heat, to be fully honest. So, Mike Budenholzer should have never been fired. They hired Adrian Griffin, thought that was the right hire at the time. They ended up firing him mid-season, even though they were like second seed in the East. And then they hired Doc Rivers. So, I mean, how's that turned out for the Bucks, to be honest? Mike Budenholzer was a great head coach for them. Their players liked them. They won a championship together. Should have never fired him. That was the stupidest decision I think the Bucks have made in a long time in their franchise. All right, now the next candidate. This makes some sort of sense. JJ Redick, he's doing that podcast with LeBron now. He has had a lot of interest. He's a guy that you'll look, no coaching experience at all in the NBA, but will get interest because he has a lot of basketball knowledge. Great, smart guy. I mean, he does that podcast with LeBron. He has showed his basketball knowledge and everything he knows about the game, on media, being in the media world, whether it's working with ESPN or his podcast interviewing players. He is a guy that is well liked around the NBA. Players like him, fans like him. He is well liked. I mean, it's hard to find a guy in this league that dislikes JJ Redick. LeBron likes him. LeBron's doing this podcast with him. That is a potential hire for this Lakers team. I think if you look at younger players are going to potentially I think younger players would potentially like being coached by JJ Redick. Because I think if you look at, JJ Redick, players would potentially like being coached by him because he knows what's going on. Not only does he know this game really well, but he was a player. He played in this game. So he has so much knowledge. I think it's a potential hire for this Lakers team. But I think if you're the Lakers and you have LeBron and you have AD and you've won a championship already, LeBron's a guy who's won 4 championships. He's 4 championships. He wants to win another championship. The goal is for championships. I don't know if bringing someone who's never even coached in the NBA is a good idea. JJ Redick, I think, has great potential chance to become a good NBA head coach. But do you want to risk another year of LeBron's and AD's career? Those two guys who've AD's been in the year for 12. He's just ended his 12th season. LeBron just ended his 21st season. Do you want to risk another season of those two guys' career if LeBron comes back to LA? Do you want to risk that? Potentially taking a gamble on JJ Redick? I think he's going to be a good head coach in this league once he gets the chance. But Do you want to take that chance is the question. All right, someone else, Tyronn Lue. I don't see this happening. Look, Lakers, if you can get it done, you do it, of course. But Tyronn Lue, I don't see him getting fired by the Clippers. Unless the Clippers lose these next 2 games against the Mavericks horrendously, I that's the only way I see this happening. Unless the Clippers get blown out tomorrow in Game 5 by the Dallas Mavericks and then end up potentially getting blown out in Game 6 again, unless they get embarrassed by Dallas, I don't see the Clippers firing Tyronn Lue. I don't see him leaving Los Angeles to go to LA. So yeah, I don't see him leaving the Clippers to go to the Lakers. But he did play with he did coach LeBron, won a championship with LeBron. So these 2 guys are very familiar with each other. They love each other. So potentially that is an addition for the Lakers and LeBron, but I just don't know if it's something that will happen just because the fact that Tyronn Lue is with the Clippers. Unless, if he gets let go by the Clippers, yeah, for sure, go for it. Target Tyronn Lue. I think right now, you have to bring in Mike Budenholzer. That has to be the guy that you bring in as your next head coach. But if Tyronn Lue is available, I think he's number 1 on the list. But I don't think he'll be available. Frank Vogel, I don't know why this is even on here. He's going to be probably fired by the Suns. You're not going back there. He was your coach from 2019 through 2022. He's had experience all over the board. Orlando, 2 terrible seasons in Orlando. Good seasons with the Indiana Pacers being their head coach from 2010 through 2016. And then with the Lakers, was with them from 2019 through 2022. Yes, they won a championship. They were good with each other. But then the next 2 seasons, he was not a good head coach for this Lakers team. From 2020-21 season and the 2021-22 season, they were eliminated in the first round, and they missed the play-in, being the 11 seed. So, no. Hard no. All right. Next one. Look, this is another one where you're number 1. He's like number 1 on the board if he's available, which he's not. Brad Stevens was the Boston Celtics head coach from the 2013 through 2021 seasons, and he was great as the Boston Celtics head coach. But he is the executive of the Boston Celtics now. He won executive of the year for the Boston Celtics. Well deserved. He made 2 really good trades in trading for Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. He fleeced the NBA for those 2 guys. I don't see him stepping out of that role to go into a head coaching job. Yes, it's a potential head coaching job where you're coaching LeBron James and you're coaching Anthony Davis, but why would he leave his executive role where he just won executive of the year and he is making great moves as the Boston Celtics executive? I don't see it happening. All right, next guy on the list, Chris Quinn. Look, hard no. He's a Miami Heat. Assistant coach. He's a good assistant coach, but I know I said JJ Redick's a possibility with 0 head coaching experience, but that's because he is a former NBA player. And Chris Quinn might have played in the NBA, I'm not sure, but he's a former NBA player who has so much knowledge and is so likable. And I'm sure Chris Quinn might be likable as well, but I don't see the JJ Redick hiring happening. I don't see this hiring happening either. And then next one is Kenny Atkinson. He hasn't coached since the 2020 season with Brooklyn. He has been with Golden State Warriors as a assistant head coach. I think this is definitely a possibility. He was decent with Brooklyn. He's been okay with Golden State. I think it's more likely with LeBron teaming up with Kenny Atkinson than Kenny Atkinson teaming up with him, though. That's me saying that I think it's more possible for LeBron to join the Warriors where he's coaching than Kenny Atkinson becoming the next head coach for the Golden State Warriors. Sam Cassell, look, this is another no for me. I like Sam Cassell. He's a good assistant coach, and he was a really good player. And he played for my favorite team, the Houston Rockets, for a little bit. But at the same time, another coach with no experience. I think if you're going to come in and you're going to coach someone who's near 40 years old and is considered one of the greatest players of all time, you need to have head coaching experience, and that's not there with Sam Cassell. Now, this next coach, there is experience, and I think this would be a great hire for the Golden State Warriors. So Mark Jackson was the Golden State Warriors head coach from 2011 through 2015, up until or 2014. It was either 2014 or 2015. He was the head coach of the Golden State Warriors. He's a great head coach, and definitely would be a good hire by the Los Angeles Lakers. I'd love to see Mark Jackson as a head coach again. I know the Golden State got themselves a really nice head coach with, Steve Kerr, but Mark Jackson would have been great if he would have stayed with the Warriors and fire him. All right, Scott Brooks, another guy who has great experience with Washington from 2016 to 2021. Had a couple playoff seasons with Washington. Now OKC, 2008, 2015, went to an NBA Finals with OKC. Now, he hasn't been in the NBA mix for a while, or a head coaching mix for a while, so that is something to think about. But he has been to the NBA Finals before, has never won an NBA Finals before. So those are some of the candidates for the Los Angeles Lakers at the head coaching position. If Darvin Ham gets fired, who would you like to see the Lakers bring in? Look, I think number one on the list is Mike Budenholzer from the Bucks. But if Tyronn Lue becomes available, I think he is number one as well. Brad Stevens would be a nice hire, but at the same time, I don't think he's going to be available. Let me know your thoughts on potential head coaches for the Lakers in the comment section, and peace out.